Familia de Lucha Libre Online, aquí te habla el gurú de la lucha libre y tengo el honor y el privilegio de presentar the youngest NWA Women's World Champion, Kenzie Page. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. I feel like a champion, of course.
So, the first time here in Lucha Libre Online, so thank you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Let's address the elephant in the room. You were the person that dethroned the longest and reigning NWA Women's Champion. The in this industry, like 814 days that Camille held that title. Um, what can you recall? What can you recall about that day and that moment when you got the news that you were gonna be the new face of the women's division?
It was like an overwhelming, like just it was just felt like such a payoff. Like it was like a relief, but also a whole new pressure added. If you get what I mean by that. But it was like a payoff for me because this is what I've wanted my whole life. This is like a big success story for myself. And then also I had my whole family there. So knowing that this moment was for me and my whole family was in attendance, it was a dream come true, literally.
Um, the bell rang. You're the NWA World Women's Championship. You're just 21 years old. What went through your mind that exact moment that you had the title in your hands?
So a little backstory. The first time I ever fought for the NWA World Women's Championship was 2 years ago, and I had actually missed my nanny's funeral for that match. So I didn't attend my nanny's funeral and lost the match, obviously. So after I won and I put my head to the mat and I was trying so hard not to cry. But as soon as I got this title in my hands, I just looked up and it was just felt, like I said, just like such a payoff. Like everything that I had sacrificed and had missed out on was paying off in that moment right there. So it was closure for me, in that little moment. So that's the little backstory behind how much this title truly means to me and my family.
Oh, that's really a good story to have that title regarding your
Mhm.
nanny. You had an historic weekend with your group, Pretty Empowered. How do you get that celebration, that huge celebration, that weekend with Pretty Empowered?
Well, Kylie is my little sister and Ella's my best friend. So all of us, succeeding on such a high platform was such a big moment in our lives and in our careers, and us knowing each other personally and everything outside of wrestling. It's just the best way to put it is everything was such a payoff for us. So of course we went and celebrated afterwards. We went out by the pool. We had ourselves a great time. Pretty Empowered celebrated like we do. We went big. But yeah, all of us together, we just that whole weekend, dream come true, magical moments, and something that we will never forget ever in our lives.
Let's take you back when you were the NWA Television World Champion, the Women's Television Champion.
Mhm.
You had a really good match with a legend like Angelina Love. What can
Mhm.
you talk to me about the experience working with Angelina Love?
Working with anyone, especially like Angelina Love, you learn so much, right? Because she's been around so long. She does have so much to offer. So being young, like you said, I'm only 21, being young and getting to, wrestle Angelina, and obviously a lot of people think Pretty Empowered is a playoff of the Beautiful People. So it was almost like, mirroring each other almost in that match. It was a really big, 10-year-old, 11-year-old Kenzie is freaking out. I'm in the ring with Angelina Love. It was a very big moment in my career and personally to me. So she helped me a lot. She's smart. There, you can learn anything from anyone, and I learned a lot from Angelina.
Let's go back in time. How did the
Mhm.
opportunity working for the NWA came to a reality? Who contacted you initially and how that conversation went?
It was the beginning of 2021, and Danny Dills, actually, he's been a very long-time family friend of ours. But Danny Dills actually messaged me. It was like, hey, there is an extra spot available for the National Wrestling Alliance, and it's in Nashville. Would you be able to make it tomorrow? So literally the next day I was there. I was only supposed to be there one day. I guess they liked what they saw and they kept me around for the rest of the weekend. And then after that, they just kept calling me back, and eventually it flourished into what it is now.
What are your thoughts now on the NWA women's division?
I think that our women's division speaks for itself. I think that the best thing about us is that we all have one common goal, and that's to have the best match and be the best thing on the whole show, no matter what it is. So the women come in with that mindset of we're going to be the best. Like in general, if there's no other reason to watch anything, watch the women because they're killing it every time. So I think that our women's division works really hard together. It's a healthy locker room. It's, like I said, healthy. We're put together and we all have a common goal.
Talking about the women's division, you're now the NWA World Women's Champion. You're the face of that division. This 28, you had a big match for that title. Rudy J is your opponent. What can you talk to me about that big match on Samahain, this 28 on Cleveland, Ohio?
I think that walking into this pay-per-view, Pretty Empowered has a lot of eyes on them, because, you know, this is our first dominant reign, right? This is the first little chapter of what could be, you know, a dominant, successful reign for Pretty Empowered. So I don't think Ruthie J is I'm not going to let her ruin that for Pretty Empowered. I'm not going to let her ruin that for me, right? So I've worked thus far and this hard, and we didn't come this far just to come this far, right? So our goal is to, you know, Pretty Empowered is going to trail over Markova and Taylor Rising. I'm going to trail over Ruthie J because this is just step one on the long adventure that awaits for Pretty Empowered. And we're not going to get tripped up after the first step.
What can we expect from you now that you are the face of the NWA women's division?
You can expect more attitude, more history, more everything. I walk in the first ever Triple Crown women's champion in NWA. I'm the youngest NWA World Women's Champion. I'm going to keep making history. I'm going to keep being the talk of the NWA. And I'm going to keep Pretty Empowered on the forefront no matter what it takes. So what can you expect with this championship reign? You can expect a whole lot of Pretty Empowered all in your face.
That's it. I'm gonna say something in Spanish for the fans here in Lucha Libre Online. Octubre 28, NWA presenta Samhain en Cleveland, Ohio, donde Kenzie Page defenderá ese título prestigioso de la NWA Women's Championship ante Rudy J. Pueden conseguir sus taquillas por nwtix.com o puedes verlo por Fight TV. Kenzie, are you excited to show the NWA Women's Division the new home of NWA? By that, I mean Billy Corgan revealed that NWA will have 2 shows on television on 2024.
Hypothetically speaking, if NWA is going to television and whenever it is, wherever it is, I'm excited to be on the forefront of that. Like I said, I'm going to make sure Pretty Empowered stays the face of the NWA, especially entering this pretty era.
Oh, for that being said, Kenzie, thank you for your time here at Lucha Libre Online. We wish you the best of luck this Saturday on Samain and all your defense for that title.
Thank you.
So, ya saben, octubre 28, Samain, NWA Cleveland, Ohio. Sus taquillas, nwtix.com. Lo pueden conseguir por Fight TV, donde van a ver a la campeona más joven defendiendo su título ante Rudy J. Este fue el Guru y Kenzie para Lucha Libre Online, porque en español nadie lo hace mejor.